9 years after the African Union adopted a continental space policy and strategy, the Africa Space Agency inaugurated its headquarters in the Egyptian capital Cairo on Sunday. With this step, the AFSA can finally pursue its mission to harness space science and technology for Africa's socio-economic development and sustainable development goals.
African ministers as well as directors of continental and international space agencies came to the Egyptian space city to celebrate this landmark step for Africa. All of them pledged to support Africa's space ambitions. The European Space Agency marked this historic day by signing several cooperation agreements with the world's newest continental space agency.
The mission of the Africa Space Agency is to collaborate all the space programs in Africa, being it space exploration, Earth observation, astronomy, satellite communications. It's an already existing framework from the African Union, but it has now established on its own. So it's not going to start its work, work has already started.
The space industry is financially demanding and requires sophisticated technology to run. For Africa, that's still a major challenge. One of the roles of the African Space Agency is to coordinate efforts by national space agencies to complement Africa's space research and capacity building efforts.
We have 54 African nations. All the nations cannot invest heavily in the space sector because investment in space is very, very capital intensive. Coming together in a union like this is the best way to go. Africa is massive landmass. The only way you can manage the resources of Africa and then the diversity of Africa is to use space science and technology. No other means upon which we can do this thing.
China is expected to be one of the main global partners of the African Space Agency. The Egyptian Space City has a strong foundation of Chinese space technology, which empowered Egypt with a satellite assembly integration and testing center, as well as expanded the country's remote sensing abilities and space images analysis.
It's quite interesting when you are in space. Most of the geopolitical zones or political is totally different. When you look at the International Space Station, you have all the nations coming together, especially the Americans, the Russians, the Chinese. The role of the China supporting the Egyptian Space Agency and supporting the African Space Agency is a role that is well welcome and is an example for others to follow.
By hosting the African Space Agency, Egypt is solidifying its leadership role in Africa's space ecosystem. It is a commitment from the North African country to nurture space research, technology development and innovation across the continent. AFSA is not expected to build rocket ships and send humans to space, but will instead focus on Earth observation, satellite communication, navigation and positioning, as well as other space sciences and astronomy. Adel Mahroui, CGTN, Cairo.